Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Sporting160EN Podcast number 20. I am your host, Bruno, and I am joined here with my two good friends, Danny and Steph. How are you guys doing today?
Doing all right, They started off pretty bad. Sporting wasn't helping it out, but it got better throughout the day, and now I'm feeling really good. Love doing these podcasts with you guys. Really cheers me up, and I can't wait to get started on this, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I feel the same way. So basically, I just want to, release my frustration about the yesterday's defeat.
Right.
And I'm glad that the podcast wasn't yesterday and it's today because I needed a day to get over the loss. I took it hard. I didn't like it. I was watching the goddamn game at my job on my phone. So I took my lunch break to watch the game. And then we lost. I took it hard. So let's talk about it.
Right, yeah, absolutely. So, guys, before we dive into that, though, before we dive into the game yesterday, I want to start out with last week on Thursday and the Europa League. Something that was good, a good result. Sporting played at home to Qarabağ. Sorry if I mess up on that pronunciation, but I'm going to go ahead and read the starting lineup. We had Salah at goal, Ristovski, Watts, Mateu, and Acuna. I was very surprised to see Acuna at left back. Then the midfield, we had Battaglia, Bruno Fernandes, and Gudelj, and Rafinha Nani on the wings, and Montero up top as the striker. Danny, give me your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, man. I was a little worried about this game. Qarabağ is, as we mentioned in the last podcast, Pinta Campeón there in Azerbaijan. But like you said, I seen the starting 11. I seen Acuna finally at left back. I seen the first game or the first start from Gudeli at number 8. And man, I was getting pretty excited, and finally Peseiro did the lineup I think we all wanted to see. So we started off well. I think Mathieu had a free kick that hit the bar right away. I think it was in the opening 8 minutes or something like that. And then towards the end of the first half, Mathieu again, looking more like a left winger than a center back, taking on a man, doing a beautiful skill move to get past him, passes it to Monteiro, and then Monteiro sort of goes for the back heel, sort of side heel sort of thing, and Wagner, Qarabağ's goalie, was up for it, or he was there for it. I don't know, maybe if he dummies it to Nani, maybe Nani gets the goal there, but there is a defender close to him, so I can't really blame Montero for that. I seen the effort, and it was a great idea at the end of the day, so I can't blame him for that. I think Montero, like we mentioned last podcast as well, he gives us a different dynamic in the team. Maybe he's not the best finisher, but he's the best when it comes to linking up play for us. So I was really impressed with Monteiro this game. But yeah, and then the second half happened. And I think one thing that really highlights, I guess, a sort of weakness in our midfield this year is that there is no William. And it's proof of it in the first goal where Mathieu sort of gets the ball from defense, carries it a bit forward, and then launches the ball maybe 20, 30 meters to Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes just gives it to his side to Nani, who was wide open, and then Nani with the perfect ball to Rafinha to make us 1-0 up. And it's just that. It was Mathieu basically did what Battaglia and Gudeli, what at least I'd want from them a bit. I don't think they had necessarily bad games, but it's just that William factor that we're missing in this team, I think, right now.
I agree with you. It's like a lack of creativity, I guess you could say, coming from our midfielders. I think they're better defensively than they are offensively, definitely.
And it's not even that. I think Gudeli's not even that bad on offense. I think definitely Battaglia is definitely better on defense than he is offense. I think he's very clumsy and stuff like that. But it's more that William would do the two jobs. He was decent defensively, but he would also push play forward. He was a 6 that can play an 8, and I think these two guys, they're just too one-dimensional. I think Goudelli did good against Qarabağ. He played well as an 8. My only complaint about Goudelli, but it's normal, he didn't really have a preseason, was that towards the end of the game, he sort of started to come off of it. He was very tired. It was evident that he was tired, but okay, it's up to match fitness, and I guess he's not quite there yet. But it's just that. It's just either one's good defensively and the other one's decent on short passes. There's not that long ball ability, and Mathieu basically did their job for them. But hey, hell of a pass, hell of a goal. No complaints from Nani and Rafinha. Rafinha just tucks it in. Again, beautiful ball from Nani. And then, like I was saying with Goudelli, he was tired and making wrong decisions. He gave away the ball right on the top of the box not too long after we scored the first goal, that maybe against a better team or if Qarabağ maybe got a better angle on that, they could have easily scored and made it 1-1. Okay, no harm done at the end of the day, but it's just certain small decisions that is really evident on what we're missing. And then we had a few other chances. Rafinha and Montero had decent chances on the wing. Christovsky had a header that just went a bit wide. And then, Jovan comes in for Nani, and a minute later he scores a goal with Monteiro doing some magical work on the wings. Magical. I've seen that clip maybe 10 times because it's that good,
Right.
Anyways, he megs the guy, passes the ball off to Rafinha, I believe it was, and Rafinha centers it to Jovan, and Jovan does what Gelson wishes he can do, and that's score a fucking goal. Pardon my French, but he scores. The kid knows how to finish. That's 3 goals and 2 assists in 5 or 6 games now. The kid is on fire, but the Portuguese press will only talk about a kid in red. But whatever, that it is what it is. I think we had a really good game. I was very enthusiastic after the game. I thought we built a lot on our performances from weeks prior. Qarabağ at the same time, they don't have a team that can necessarily trouble us that much. Aside from their left back, which I wish had stayed in Portugal, I think he had a fantastic game. Aside from that, there wasn't really any standouts from their team. Wagner did all right, but and Acuna, believe it or not, did amazing at left back. Who would have thought, right? Better than Jefferson. Unbelievable. But yeah, it was a good game. I'm glad Peseiro finally listened to us and put some of the players that deserve to be playing in their proper positions, like Acuna. And yeah, that's really all I got to say on the game. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Okay, I guess we're still on. I think Bruno disconnected. So I'll take over. Steph, what did you think of the game? Sorry, I rambled on for a bit.
No, it's fine. Well, I thought the same thing. I think Sporting played a well game initially. When Qarabağ was in full steam, fitness wise, when they could basically they played a lower block, and their intentions was not to win the game. If to win the game in a counter-attack mode, but they came with one plan, just to not allow Sporting to score, and that backfired on them. We won the game 2-0, and basically job well done by Sporting, but I still see the same. I'm very concerned with the midfield still. The double pivot that the duo Battaglia, Goudelch. I don't know if it's working out. I would prefer to see maybe give it a chance to Bruno Fernandes being number 8 and put Nani as the supporter for Freddy Montero in this case, because Bastos is still not available. And I would put Giovanni on the right wing, or Rafinha, or swap them. But it's still not there. And maybe, like you said, maybe it's a question of fitness, that Goudelch is not still fit. That might be it. So let's hope it's that. And then we still have what's his name, Sturaro, coming in October.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that will alleviate, and maybe he will be a solution for the midfield. But the game against Qarabağ was okay. But let's keep things into perspective. Qarabağ, it's maybe like a team like in our Portuguese league, like a good Maritimo or a good Guimarães, but nothing more than that. I'm not going to compare Qarabağ with Porto, Benfica, or Braga.
For sure not.
Yeah, so they in a different level than our top teams in the Portuguese league. So we won. It was a convincing win, but we do have a problem in the midfield. The wings are functioning pretty well, but there's no connection between the midfield and the offensive line, and that's a problem. And but the UEFA game was well deserved, and it was important to win at home the first game of the Liga Europa. And we congratulations to our whole team, and I'm predicting we at least finish second in that group. Anything less than that, it's very disappointing, and that's all I gotta say.
Fair enough, guys. Sorry about that. Internet bill hasn't been paid on time. It looks like.
No worries.
You didn't pay the bill, bro.
No, I didn't pay the bill, bro. So, but luckily I just contacted them. We're good. They're gonna give me till the end of this pod.
That's cheap,
So yeah, I mean, to touch back on what Steph says, I mean, you look at the group other than Arsenal. I mean, to not finish second would be disastrous. I even think we could potentially finish first. I can't wait to see that game against Arsenal because I think we're going to give them a good game. I think at least at home we will. I could definitely see us finishing in first. Maybe I'm just shooting for the stars, but it wouldn't shock me if Sporting finished above Arsenal in the Europa League.
Yeah. If Arsenal had Wenger, maybe, but.
Boa noite, everybody.
Hey,
Nando.
what's up, buddy?
What's going on, man? I appreciate you guys letting me jump in a little bit late here. But carry on.
Sure, man.
It's all good. It's all good. I don't know if you had anything to say on the Qarabağ game.
Yeah, man. I mean, I enjoyed that game a lot more than I enjoyed the the Braga game. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're about to get into now. So let's jump forward. And Nando, I'll let you go first, but let me just read the lineup real quick.
Sure.
For yesterday's game. Away to Braga, we had Salah and goal, Ristovski, André Pinto, Kuach, Acuna were the back four. Bataglia, Gudelj, Bruno Fernandes were in the midfield, and then Nani and Rafinha playing on the wings with Montero again up top as the striker. Nando, what happened? What went wrong?
Well, man, literally the opposite of what went right with the Liga Europa game. I mean, it was kind of shocking to me a little bit that Sporting continue to still be that like bipolar when it comes to the games they play. We sat here and we raved about how well they played like for the first half against Benfica, and then we sat here and we raved about how well they played for the Taça da Liga. And then I was listening to you guys, and we played well, and I guess everybody agreed for the Liga Europa. And then for the Portuguese league, it's like they became scared. They became kind of a little apprehensive every time they had the ball, and we were trying to push game forward. Sporting was out of ideas. At the end of the game, I'm reading tweets from all over the place about how maybe it's time to bench Nani, how maybe it's time to bring in Giovanni Cabral to start the game. It was just a mess. It was a mess. I think that most of us would agree that Peseiro was outcoached, that Peseiro was a little scared again. Kind of like, to me, it reminded me of how we played the second half against Benfica, where we fell back and we just kind of waited and hoped that things would go our way. So I didn't like the game at all overall. I think it showed once again that we need a solid striker. The midfield, Bruno Fernandes, in my opinion, didn't play very well. Nani was not at his best. And then us still not knowing what to do with like Acuna, whether he should start at left back like he did, or whether he should be further up in the pitch and then start a real left back at left back. it was just a mess, man. And it just seemed like Sporting went into that game hoping for the best and kind of expecting the worst. And I don't know about you guys, but that's the opinion that I have about the game and just what I got out of the game. Like the perception of those players' attitudes and our tactics as a whole just let a lot to be desired. And that falls on Pizzero.
Yeah. Steph, you had a lot to say before we went live when we were discussing just the three of us. I'll let you go ahead and get a crack of it. What happened, man?
Against Braga, it's very typical of, and I have no clue why, but we could play well against A, B, C, D, and E, and all of a sudden we go to Braga or we go to Porto or we go to Benfica, and we become a totally different team. And then all I hear is fucking excuses by our coach and some fans and dirigents. And why would you change your way of playing? If you played well against Qarabağ, if you played well against Maritimo, I know we're going to Braga. I know we're going to play against a good team. But they, for God's sake, they didn't even qualify for the Europa League. So why you have to respect your opponents? I understand that, but I think we gave them too much respect. I don't know what kind of message Pizzero gave to our team, but that they couldn't put a play together. The midfield was just done. There was no connection between the midfield and our offensive line. We played the English way, long balls. And we don't have Montero. Is pretty good holding the ball, but he's not that fast. I mean, Nani is fast, but he's kind of not the Nani he used to be. He's not going to sprint 100 yards in 10 seconds like he used to do in the past. So we lost the game in the midfield because we couldn't construct plays to furnish. To create opportunities of goals. And that, we did well against Qarabağ, so. We did well against Maritimo. And then against Braga, I saw a team that was afraid. And that's on the coach. Because I don't know what kind of message he gave to the players, but players shouldn't feel that, oh, vamos jogar contra o Braga, lá no Braga. Ai, meu Deus. Why? It's still same pitch than Alvalade, same dimensions, same measurements, same goals. It's just more fans of Braga, but it's still the same pitch. I don't really get it. I think it's a psychological thing more than a skill set. Because you look at our team, most of our players, they play for their national teams. This is players with quality we have. And like I said just 2 seconds ago, they played well in the Liga up against Qarabağ. They played well against Maritimo. I don't know why they shut down against Braga, and in this case was Braga. But even the tie against Benfica and Luz, it was we tied by luck. We could have lost the game easily. But it's the coach not preparing the team psychologically well. That's what pisses me off. We only started playing so when we were losing 1-0. When we down 1-0, that's when I saw the team actually putting some plays together and creating chances of goal. Exception for the one from Nani from a direct kick with his header. That was the only one besides that. But
which was a hell of a save too.
Yes, indeed. But it's a save that you're expecting your goalie to make. But regardless, to wrap it up, I don't like it because it looks like it's more the coach's fault preparing the players mentally. Like even Giovanni, he was not himself. I mean, towards the end, he almost scored the tying goal inside the box with a great kick. The goalie pulled a great save, but usually when I see him coming in, he just wants to plow everything. Everything he sees in front of him, he just takes over. And that's what I'm expecting from him. I don't want him to change. I don't want him to be more tactical or to be more cautious. I don't want that from him. I want him to be the way he is. Just plow everything in front of you. Go for it, buddy. That's the way you become a great player, and that's the way you are. And even him, when coming in, he was a little bit soft. And this loss for me, I'm going to blame it on Peseiro. And it's not because he's not my coach, none of that bullshit. It's just because it's on him. This one is on him. It's the message he's giving the players. It was the wrong message, the wrong setup. Gudelci and Battaglia didn't work on this game. They couldn't construct any plays. The ball on their feet didn't make any difference. They were just going for long balls. And I mean, that's all I got to say. But I'm a bit frustrated because, enough of this shit against Braga and Benfica and Porto. Just play your goddamn game. We know how to play, so then play. But if the coach doesn't give them confidence and doesn't give them the proper tactic, we will struggle every single time against these teams. Every single time. And that's all I got to say.
Yeah, no doubt. Danny, give me your 2 cents.
Yeah, man. Listen, it was. I guess it's a good match for the neutral. I think it was end-to-end stuff, so it would be entertaining for them. It was mad stressful for me, obviously. First half, never really. I still don't think Braga created enough chances to come away with a win in this game. Sure, the just scoreline would be a draw, but at the end of the day, we'd still have to score. And I think a lot of our chances that we took were either wide or Thiago Sá made a fantastic save. Like for example, like even Steph mentioned, that Nani header coming off a free kick from Bruno Fernandes in the first half. Incredible save from Thiago Sá. I thought that was going in. But it was a weird one because it would honestly be spells of domination. Like at first it started with Braga, and then it was Sporting took over, then Braga took over again, and then Sporting took over just towards the end of the half, but it was just that no one had a foothold on this game, and it's a shame because Sporting easily could have. We have the better midfield. They played with Claude Demir in the midfield when typically they have Palhinha. Obviously they couldn't play him because he's on loan, but we could have easily taken advantage of that. Goiano was constantly falling. We could have easily taken advantage of that. My biggest thing with Peseiro is this team lacks identity. And the biggest thing that he's been relying on is just individual talent. He relies on Jovan to go in and do what you got to do to get us a goal. He relies on Nani, do what you got to do to get us a goal. He heavily now is starting to rely on Rafinha, do what you got to do to score us a goal. Bruno Fernandes has a really bad game, especially in the second half, but he doesn't take him off. And against Benfica, he took him off for Petrovic, which made no sense at the time. It's just certain things that I don't understand. Another thing was before the goal was going in, you can see our midfield was getting tired. You can see Nani was no longer being Nani after the 60th minute. Bless him, he's 30-something. The guy needs his rest. We could have easily thrown in Jovan for half an hour, having Jovan and Rafinha on the wings. Instead, no, let's wait it out. And only when Braga scores a goal do we make a sub. And then he takes out Montero, who's actually doing well in the build-up play, like we've been mentioning, for Castaños. Right. And once he did that, we lost possession of the ball. We were depending too much on just pumping balls in the box that were going nowhere because Braga has two towering center backs. He throws in Diaby in the 86th minute, which I don't understand what he expected. What does he expect Diaby to do in 5 minutes? Because that's the second time he's thrown him, or third time he's thrown him in the last whatever minutes for no reason, just to basically burn time. It's just frustrating. And then, Bruno Fernandes would have shots where he doesn't have to. André Pinto, who I like a lot, I think the only mistake he made that game was for some reason he decided to show Diego Souza inside rather than outside. Luckily, it was an easy shot for Solan to save. But nonetheless, I don't understand what he's doing. The first thing you learn as a defender as you're a kid is you show them to the outside. I don't. He was inviting him inside, and a better striker, that's a goal. And Solan's been very good, but especially against a guy like Solan, it's a goal, no problem. Fucking Rafinha would start taking shots from far in desperation. Their goal sort of came because Battaglia wasn't really tracking back. He was just sort of walking in the box. He should have noticed André Pinto going to the guy closer to Solan. He should have quickly closed off Diego Souza. Instead, he doesn't. He walks back. Diego Souza gets a free shot on goal. It's a joke of a goal, and it could have been easily avoided had our defense been there. But again, going back to Peseiro, we lack defensive stability. We lack identity defensively and offensively. The only thing I see Peseiro doing on this team is insisting his fullbacks to go forward. After that, there's nothing else. There's no instructions on the midfield on what to do. There's not really any instructions on whether wingbacks or wingers are going to come back or not. There's no instructions for Battaglia where to be, when to be, what to be looking for in defense, who to mark specifically, because we could have easily taken certain players out of the game, especially Diego Souza. How there wasn't a man marking Diego Souza at all times is beyond me. It's frustrating to see simple mistakes, and then we lost because of it. And again, I can't really fault the players from it. Of course, I can bitch and moan about Bruno Fernandes, and he deserves it. He's admitted that he deserves it because he's not at the levels that he's at. But towards the end of the game, we needed a goal. Bruno Fernandes lost the ball 3 or 4 times in that 80th minute for simple plays. And before I forget, before our goal, he could have easily passed it to Rafinha. Instead, he fakes the shot and shoots too wide. I think if he passes it to Rafinha is easily making that 1-0 because he's in front of the goal. Instead, Kane marks off, and that's what happened. We didn't score. He didn't pass to Rafinha. We suffered a goal. It's just a frustrating loss because we could have easily scored 2-3 goals in this game. Of course, like I said earlier, Thiago Sá did a really good job. There's a reason why he's now starting for Braga. But even still, there's so many opportunities we should have finished, and we didn't. It's sort of reminiscent on Jorge Jesus last year at Sporting with us missing so many chances. It's just annoying, and I'm just like Steph. I'm putting the blame on Peseiro. Like I said, we lack identity offensively and defensively, and he's banking too much on individual talent, and that can only get us so far.
I'm gonna jump in just real quick on that, man.
Yeah, 100%. I'm done.
I like
drops the mic.
Like the fact is, we know, or we would all agree that these are the type of games that we worried when we brought in Peseiro would happen. Like Peseiro at this time of his career, this is not even the Peseiro that first picked up Sporting. When he first got to Sporting, what was that, like 10 years, 12, 15 years ago? That Peseiro was young, was motivated, was excited to show and be someone. This Peseiro is conformed. This Peseiro is okay with what people seem to think about him and expect of him. And he's the type of Peseiro with these kind of tactics that are going to be good for the games that have no expectations, zero expectations, zero worry. Just kind of go out there and do your thing. And if we win, we win. If we don't, we don't. Like I didn't trust him for the Benfica game. I didn't like what he did there. I'm very disappointed in the Braga game. And I fear that any of these big deciding games going forward, whether it's the Portuguese league, Liga Europa, Taça Portugal, Liga, Taça da Liga, whatever it is, but as long as it gets important and it starts to matter and count, I don't trust them, man. And I wonder what you guys think overall, but I think what we see is what we're going to get, and we're hoping for a lot more than what is actually going to happen. And I don't think it's going to happen with Peseiro in this Braga game. Really pissed me off for that matter. The guy just seems totally content with just letting the game play out and then just letting it unfold the way it unfolds. He doesn't actively try to change the outcome of the game, which is what a coach should do.
I don't think he has any idea what the hell he's doing in the first place. So my biggest thing, and honestly, you got to give Braga credit, and I think it starts with their head coach. I think Abel Freire he's a coach on the come up easily, one of the best coaches we have in the Portuguese league, and I think the way that he assembled his Braga, especially in the midfield, playing a high line against us, we didn't know what the hell to do. Peseiro had no idea what to do at all whatsoever. He had no answers, and then I don't know why Diaby's coming in, like Danny said, in the 86th minute when, apparently he's the fastest player in the Portuguese league. Why not give him 20 minutes, 30 minutes? Jovan Fernani in like the 60th minute. I mean, this is just common sense to me, and I don't understand how he doesn't see it. And I don't know why the hell Castaños is still on the team, because I felt like we were playing with the man down when he came in. Yep. It's bloody ridiculous, to be honest with you guys. But it is our first loss of the season. Okay, it is our first loss of the season. We were going to drop points, and it was a tough away match against Braga. It's not like, losing against, one of the bottom teams. Braga looked good this year, and I think it has a lot to do with Abel, which brings me to my next question for you guys. Would you guys take Abel at Sporting manager next season?
Yeah, if I had to choose between like Abel or Pizarro, absolutely. I mean, Abel at least knows os cantos da casa. But more importantly, and you know what? Let me go back on that. I'm not a guy who really cares too much about whether a guy knows os cantos da casa or not. Sometimes it actually is more beneficial when you don't know what's going on there. But sure, he knows it, so that's a perk. But more importantly, he has more motivation. I mean, he has everything to gain by doing well at a Sporting or a Braga like he is now. Pizarro doesn't really have anything to gain. Like if he does really well at Sporting, like great, okay. But no one else is going to suddenly go and get him to go coach a team in another top tier in Europe. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd take him back 100%. But if I'm being honest with you guys, I think JJ is going to come back next season. That's my prediction.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I would take JJ back right now over Pizarro, because at least JJ, as frustrating as he can be. Now, if a president came in and said, you know what, Jorge Jesus, you're going to deal with who I put out the table, like none of this like 40 signings per year and 40 let goes. Jorge Jesus at least has motivation that we can see in him. We can agree that he hates losing almost as much as he loves winning. And I don't see that with Pizarro. I see Pizarro just being like, o pau bem mandado, like just do what you're told, smile where you need to smile, and you're not pissing off the president behind closed doors or in front of the camera, and you're good to go. You'll get a 3-year contract and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't want JJ. Based on some of the comments he's made this offseason.
Yeah, for sure. And even still, it's and I don't like to put like money at the end of the things, because at the end of the day we don't see it, and if Sporting can afford them, who cares? My thing more with JJ is, for 6 million, how can I put this? For whatever we're paying Pizarro, which is definitely not 6 million, we're getting at least more attacking threats. We're pushing forward a lot more than we are with JJ. We're upset after one game with Braga, and I've been here complaining about Pizarro probably since day one, because we do lack identity. And I think with JJ, we definitely had that identity. But I would rather, and I'm not even a huge Abel fan, but I would rather have Abel than JJ. I would rather have Sillas than JJ. I would rather have Miguel Cardoso than JJ. It's just for the 3 years, he gave us one good one.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. If I had to pick one or the other, I would probably still go JJ. But yes, if JJ is at the bottom of my list amongst the guys that you just mentioned, for sure, I totally agree with you.
I would probably even keep Pizarro over JJ, to be honest. Again, and I don't like putting the money thing, but okay, one for money, because for 6 million, I don't think he's going to do that much better than Pizarro. And that's my big thing with JJ, because we've seen him for 3 years, and he had one hell of a squad that, didn't win the league. Maybe up to us. Maybe, things will come out later and we'll really understand why.
I don't see that thing, but
but also the other 2 years were horrible. Let's not forget that second year.
Horrid,
that second year was disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible. And some of the transfers that came in, whether it's up to him or not, I think now it's a bit more evident that maybe it was, as you see, Varandas was trying to get, or at least there was rumors of him trying to get Rui Jorge in for the scouting department. So that makes me believe that maybe JJ's team had a lot to do in terms of scouting. The likes of Castaños, Dumbia, JJ had a few good signings. I'm not saying he didn't, Bruno Fernandes and stuff like that. But I think just overall, I think JJ is just too much more of a headache for us. And the only good thing with Pizarro is he's clearly a transitional manager. He did that at Porto before Conceição came in, I believe. He did that at Braga before Abel came in. So I'm hoping he's doing that. And I understand he's doing that here because he only has a 1-year contract. But I hope the transition happens quickly. Whether we go on to win or not, and I hope we definitely win a lot more than we lose. And I hope comes January, we lose maybe 1 or 2 games at best, hopefully none. But even then, I hope Varandas opens his eyes and realizes, okay, this isn't really a winning formula. This is banking on individual talent. We need to grab a coach that can maybe get the best of all of us or all of the team. So, man, it's tough because I feel for the guy. I kind of like Peseiro, but as a coach, he is like we've been saying, he's past it. He just has something. He lacks something that the majority of managers in Liga NOS has. Luis Castro at least has, an ability to work with a defense. Abel Ferreira, we've been singing his praises here. Conceição and even Rui Vitória, Peseiro doesn't compare to them. And it's a shame because he's in the one of the best teams in the country. So it's we deserve better.
No, I agree with you guys. Now, I don't know if you guys saw a couple of the overreactions on Twitter after the game, but one of them I saw was the season's over. Do you guys think after one loss, we're 3 points away from first place? Do you guys see the season being over already? Steph?
No, of course not. That's dumb to say that, especially when you play against a team like Braga. We're not playing against o Vista Alegre da minha terra or Gafanha.
Right.
Whoever says that, they have no notion of what football is. I mean, the last games we played against Braga, it's 3 defeats, 2 victories, 2 ties. So it's been always difficult against them. It's the only thing that pisses me off. It's how we approach each game. Play to win. Don't play like, I hate to say it, but don't play like pussies.
Mm-hmm.
We play like, oh my God, this is Bayern Munich or Manchester United or Juventus. No, it's just Sporting-Braga, meu. Just we have a good team to beat them, and that's the reason why we lost. We lost because we gave them too much respect. You can respect the team, but go for the win. We only put our foot in the accelerator when we down 1-0. Why didn't we play like that from the get-go? You know what I mean? We have to lose one. We have to lose 1-0 to start playing well. So then I would have hoped that Braga scored the 5 minutes in. So then we could have played better in the 6th minute and forward. But Braga only scored towards the mid of the second half, and they should have scored at the beginning of the first half so we could start playing better. Because all of a sudden it was a totally different team when we're down 1-0. And that's the thing that pisses me off. How can we play well for the last 25 minutes? What happened to the teams for the last 60 minutes? And that reflects on the coach ability of communicating with the team. And no, we're not out of the race at all. I mean, whoever said that, I want to see Benfica or Football Club Porto goes to Braga and wins. I really doubt it.
Well, Benfica will definitely win. That's Benfica.
No, I mean, I know why you're saying that, but I'm going to give you a scenario. If Braga is running for the title, do you think Benfica will win because of what you're insinuating? I'm asking you, Danny.
Yeah,
I think so.
No, I don't think so. If Braga is in the race for the title,
Braga's want to win.
They're gonna say screw Benfica. We want to win our first title because they haven't won not even one title yet. They're gonna say screw Benfica. We want to win this year because we're in the race for the title.
Yeah, so, I mean they're up there.
I honestly I believe they are title challengers as well. I mean. They were 1 point behind us last year, if I'm not mistaken, or they're 3 points because Riwav beat them last year, something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Something like that. So they were close. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they're not title challengers, but I think they definitely put a bit more respect in terms of playing. Quote unquote respect to Benfica and maybe even Porto than they do Sporting. I think they see the way Sporting play big games in the last few years and. I don't think we have that fear factor like they have towards maybe Benfica.
I agree with you.
I'm not saying that Braga, and I'm not saying Braga can't beat Benfica. I think they can. I think Braga have a wonderful team, and some of it is thanks to us. I don't know why we're sending them Ricardo Isgaios and Wilson Eduardo and now João Pelinha. just to name a few. You know
But
what I
don't
mean?
worry, guys. At least our president now will politely sit beside their president and look good doing it. We can smile together.
Don't fucking remind me. Oh my god.
No, expect to see more. Expect to see that for the next 4 years.
And I'm not trying to make this rhetoric of an anti-Varandas, because I hope he does a fabulous job, and I think
I agree.
in some terms he's done decent so far. But I think from what Antonio Salvador said about the club in the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years, I think Varandas needs to put him in check. And if the first game you don't sit beside him, you don't sit beside him until things get better. That's my opinion on the thing.
Oh, I agree completely, man. It's
100%.
It's sad. That's all you got to say.
Well, listen, me personally, I didn't find anything wrong with that. They didn't even talk to each other. He was watching the game. And sitting beside another president, it shows a sign of respect. It takes balls actually to do the proper thing. If before Bruno Carvalho didn't want to do it, I understand why. Fine, but you could still do the proper thing, and then behind closed doors, you do what you got to do.
I agree.
And that's my take on it. I don't know why fans get all riled up. Hey, Shinto Salvador. So what?
Not my president.
It's the same.
He's showing
crazy. It's so true.
He's showing discipline. And he's just showing that, hey, we can get along, but it doesn't mean that behind closed doors, I'm not taking care of business.
Okay, fair. But it's the same thing why, actually, don't know or can't remember right now if you were upset about it, but it's the same reason why I was kind of upset when I seen some of the candidates go watch the game at Benfica with the tribuna after Luis Filipe Vieira said publicly, I want to go grab some of the players that terminated their contract with Sporting. I see it in the same way because Salvador has attacked Sporting probably just as much, if not more, than Luis Filipe Vieira, and definitely more than Pinto Costa.
Okay, yeah, but you got to give him, Frederico Varandas, you got to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's just begun as a president. So for him, it's basically a new game to him. He starts from square nothing, zero. So for him, it's like, okay, possibly, I don't know, I don't talk to him, but possibly the way he's thinking is, you know what, let me give him a chance because I don't know him that well, so let me get to know him.
You know what he looks like to me, man? And I don't want this to get carried away. I mean, obviously, I'll let Bruno dictate the rest of the show, and I apologize. But it literally, to me, looks like Frederico Varandas is doing, like as if he went to Barnes & Nobles, picked up a How to Be President, right? He picked up a How to Be President book.
For dummies? No, I'm just kidding.
Right, exactly. No, I mean, not to be rude, but like picked up a book of like, how do I become a president? And then went about like, oh, okay, do the right thing. Like, be polite. Don't say nothing wrong. Smile at the camera. Make sure your players don't hate you. Like, I don't know. I get this impression that he's sitting there and he's going off a checklist of the very minimum things that he knows he needs to do for the media and the rest of the fans at Sporting to literally not destroy him. And that's what he's going off of because he just looks like a deer in the headlights. That's the impression I get with him right now. And I hope I'm wrong. I got to give him a chance. But right now, I don't know, man. He just looks like deer in headlights, and he's just looking like he's filling a void that was left by Bruno Carvalho and just trying to make sure that everybody goes. Like, we can't hate the man. We're not going to love the man, but at least we're not going to hate the man.
I think, and my only point to this is I understand he's starting from scratch. So I'm not necessarily, again, I'm not even outraged. Wait, Steph, let me just mention.
Let me ask you something. How was he supposed to do that? Stay in the bus?
Exactly.
Stay in the bus? Was he supposed to stay inside a fucking bus or something?
No.
I don't get Portuguese. What was he supposed to do?
He doesn't have to sit beside the guy.
Okay,
but listen. To me, the only thing I'm saying is I understand he's starting from scratch, so I'm not even upset about that.
Steph, breathe.
One sec, Steph.
I don't see the big deal. Seriously,
Hear me out. I'm not saying it's a big deal or not. I'm just, a little upset that he did that. But what I'm saying is, I understand he's starting from scratch, but we're not starting from scratch. So I think what Salvador said in the past about Sporting shouldn't be erased out of our memories or out of Varandas' memories, because let's not forget he was a part of Sporting these last 8 years, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Let's not forget that. I understand you're starting from scratch, but we're not. If he's taking care of business behind closed doors, then I will be the first ones to lift up my hands and say, I'm sorry, Varandas, you had all the reason, forza. But from what we're seeing and what we can speculate, I don't care if you're starting from scratch. Sporting isn't. Sit beside him, but before the game, even go to the media publicly, say, I don't like the fact that he's saying blah, 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 but I'm here to start a new path into our relationship. If he said that, I sat beside him, Forza Varandas, that's what I like. But I think this little too quiet in the media and just sitting beside them being buddies, I don't like it that much. With Maritimo's president, Forza, because Maritimo's president was more personal with Bruno Carvalho that had nothing to do with Sporting. So I can care less.
I'm going to agree with you.
So you want him to what? You want him to pick and choose who he's supposed to sit with?
Nah, Stefan, basically...
Okay, so he picks and chooses. Hoje veio aqui o Alves, Alvalade. I'm going to stay with him because I like him. But tomorrow here comes the guy from Bulnes. I don't like him that much. So I won't stay with him. That's been a fucking child. That's been a child.
To me, it's if we're going to sit beside those who treat us badly, we put them in check first.
Exactly.
We put them in check. This is a little bit of a game.
I know, but listen, he's trying to do the proper thing from the get-go. He became the president, 2 weeks ago, I believe?
I get that.
Okay, the most 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2-3 weeks ago.
Okay. No one is saying he erased anything that Salvador said. I remember exactly what Salvador said. You remember, Bruno remembers, Nando remembers, most Portuguese do. But what he's trying to do is basically give everyone a fair chance. Okay, let's put our relationships in good standing, and let's see if we can work together. So when do we say enough is enough? We sound like fucking the Palestine and Israel now. Like, we're not going to make fucking peace. Never again, because you said something wrong about my club a month ago when we also said wrong stuff about Braga 2 months ago.
Defending us, though.
Okay, that's good. And then they defend themselves. It went back and forth. I don't know the point of origin when it started, but many years ago, even with João Rocha possibly and Sousa Sintra and other presidents. But all I'm saying is, so when do we say, what's wrong about taking the first step and say, hey, vamos reatar as relações? And then from that point on, if he fucks him, while he's the president, then I understand. But I don't see anything bad by trying to reatar as relações com o clube, which could benefit us later on if we maintain a good relationship with a good club, very strong in the north of Portugal. That's all I'm saying. Sometimes people, they struggle in let's stop with the nonsense and let's look for peace.
I agree with both of you guys, man. I think that
it sounds like religion now. Religion and Palestine and Israel. Oh, não, foda-se, nunca mais vai ser esta merda, pá, foda-se isto, caralho. Why? But why?
No, dude, I completely agree with what you're saying and with what Danny's saying. I think that to satisfy all or the majority of Sportingistas in this situation, he could have easily come out and said something along the lines of, listen.
He did, actually. You guys don't vir recordar a bola in the jogo in detail, but he did.
But not to the level of admitting that not only Sporting, but Braga were both responsible for where the relações were at the moment. And I think that if he emphasized that a little better, if he had reiterated, listen,
but I'm going to go ahead. But he did. Ele falou que é bom ter uma boa relação com o Braga e com todos os outros clubes. Ele disse isso.
Sim, mas
ele não estava a falar do passado.
Mas o que fizesse como Presidente da República e marcasse olha, vai ser hoje às 8 da noite.
No. All I'm saying is, and I've seen. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that was said in a very broad term. Like, obviously, we all want ideal situations in an ideal world to have perfect roles and perfect relationships with all their clubs and their presidents. But what he could have done, he should have done, in my opinion, is emphasize a little better. Hey, listen, Braga, under Antonio Salvador's leadership, has disrespected Sporting countless times. However, Sporting, under a previous president, also didn't act the most appropriate. So I'm going to take this opportunity right now to go ahead and end that and start new terms, new conditions, and a new future. He kind of just went the whole broad, like, hey man, let's have great relationship. No, like that's
to me, my biggest thing is he's being too friendly.
So Nando,
he gave up Paulinho.
I'm going to tell you something. And then I'm going to tell you something. I'm António Salvador. Eu ouvi os comentários do presidente Sporting, Frederico Varandas, mas o que é que ele está a dizer? Quem me provocou foi o Bruno Carvalho. Eu falei aquilo que falei para defender o meu clube. That's what he's going to say.
Mas foi o caralho. I get it. I mean, he would do that too. You're right. You're right.
And then we'll never stop. And he'll go on, caralho isso, caralho aquilo, e não sei mais o quê, e continuamos na mesma merda. A sociedade portuguesa é assim. Assim ficamos contentes de estar na guerra, na merda. Pronto, está fixe, está tão pronto. We'll never move forward if somebody doesn't take the step forward and say, you know what? What about if he had this conversation between closed doors between him and António Salvador?
I said if that is the case, I'm the first one to throw my hands up and say that's a good job then.
And I'm pretty sure they had time to talk to each other before the game. And maybe not after the game because we lost, and I'm pretty sure Frederico Varandas queria said pirar because after you get defeated, you don't want to be there. But I'm pretty sure he had a chance to talk to him maybe for an hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours. And maybe they said, hey, let's iron these issues together and let's work it out. And why do we need to know that, defense? I don't need to know that. The problem with defense is we want to know everything. And sometimes when we know everything, we fuck it up even more.
I think in a case like this, it wouldn't hurt for us to know. It wouldn't hurt for him to say, you know what, we talked. The things that were said in the past were in the heat of the moment with a different president, blah, blah, blah. Things are better now. I wouldn't mind that because
sabes o que é que isso se chama? É para entreter os tolos. Pronto, é só para estarmos todos contentes. Sim, está bem.
To me, yes, because I'm as a sócio that was been hearing shit from Salvador. I would like to know that, hey, you know what? We had a chat about this. You know what? We're gonna move forward. Blah 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 blah. Whatever has to be said is said. To me, that's better than standing quiet and sitting beside him because those that don't like Braga or Braga's president get upset. Those that are in favor of Varandas or not in favor of Varandas, but those that
voted for him.
No. I'm not even talking about that because I didn't vote for him, but I'm in favor of Varandas doing well. So it's not really for that. What I'm saying is those that maybe against Bruno Carvalho or like you're saying, just want peace and everything to calm down and it's a fresh start. People with your point of view, I think will then attack the other ones, and then there's that causes that instability that I've been mentioning for the past few weeks. I think if you just come out of the clear with small issues, because this isn't anything huge, but with small issues like this, listen, we talked, we're going to move forward from what was said. To me, that's better than me watching the game, the camera flipping, and I seeing him beside him. That's the only thing to me.
But then he did say that.
But it wasn't exactly to the T of we talked about what was said in the past. It was more of, I'm trying to have friendly relationships with everybody. And that's fine because we've been saying Alfredo's a good manager. I wouldn't mind them back at Sporting.
He was put on the spot by the journalists. And then he did say, listen, a minha função é dar bem com todos os presidentes, incluindo do Braga. He did say that, but it's just us Sportingistas, he just didn't say it the way we want him to say it. That's the problem with Sportingistas. It's never, he said it, but not the way I would like him to say it.
Anyway. I get that, but I still... Ok, pronto, yeah.
Para a próxima vez a gente tem que mandar e-mail a dizer exatamente como a gente quer que eu diga as coisas, caralho. Não entendo. A gente perdeu. We didn't lose the game because of him. We're talking about the game. No. We lost the game because Peseiro is a pussy. So I didn't see anything wrong with him sitting next to the president of Braga as long as it's good to have good relations with everybody. I don't know. This is why I'm not surprised when I see claques do Braga, do Sporting, or do Porto, do Benfica, or Sporting com a do Benfica. So sometimes when they cross paths, they fight each other. That comes from the top. If you don't get along, it trickles down like a domino effect. But if you get along on top, it gives good vibes to all the clocks. Some of them, of course, not. But so that's the way he's looking at it. When do we start cleaning our football league in Portugal? It starts from the presidents. If nobody takes a step forward, then it'll be the same shit as it is now. I mean, do you guys know who Cabral is?
First name? There's a lot of Cabrals in the world.
O Nuno Cabral, aquele gajo que era
Yeah.
Okay. This fucking guy just made a phone call fucking a week ago, and he's still trying to help Benfica out. He has no shame, this guy.
Paul Gonçalves was on the beat, was watching the B team play.
So this guy made a phone call, you know, and the referee of that game reported him to a Federação Portuguesa, a Liga, and then they questioned him, why the fuck are you calling the referee of this game? So the referee was proactive. But that's what's cool. That's the thing que eu estou preocupado, não é a relação dos presidentes. É what are we doing to clean the Portuguese soccer? Essa fantasia, fantochadas e o presidente deviam falar um com o outro, não sei mais quem. That's fair divers.
Também não estava a dizer assim bem.
Esse a mim não me entretém nada, meu. Eu quero é que o Sporting ganhe, que seja campeão. And then if we lose like yesterday, we lost because it wasn't because of the referee. It's not because Varandas gets along with Antonio Salvador. It's because our coach sucks. He sucked for that game, and I hope it was only that game.
Yeah, fair enough, guys. And I'm sure as the season goes on, we'll have more discussions of Varandas moving forward. And I just feel like every little thing he does is just going to be maybe over-exaggerated or, I don't know, taken the wrong way. But I definitely think
the man is not saying much. That's the problem. Because he's not saying much, he's being criticized.
Right. Yeah. So imagine when he opens his mouth.
Oh, coitado. Já disseram que ele era gago?
Yeah.
he said two sentences. Ele, o gajo nem sabe falar, gagueja. He only said two sentences, God's sake.
Yeah. So we'll monitor that. But guys, let's move on. Let's move on from this game.
Mas tem uma namorada boa.
Eles querem que não foda o juízo dele.
Bem boa, meu.
Let's move on to the modalities, which I'm going to turn it over to Danny, and Danny's going to get Steph. I'm sorry, Steph. I'm going to give it over to Steph for the modalities, and he's going to go ahead and tell us all and everything over what happened over the weekend.
Okay, so for the modalities, we had some good stuff and some so-so stuff and some bad stuff. Mark Chagas, he became actually in charge of our cycling section. Mark Chagas, if you guys don't know him, he won the Tour of Portugal for Sporting back in the days. So he's a well-known figure among the Sportingistas. Mm-hmm. The under-23 team won today 4-1 against Portimonense. I did see the game. I was off today, and I put some videos on our Twitter account. Mm-hmm. The ladies won a very difficult game against Football Benfica. They have no association with Benfica. They're independent because the Benfica ladies, they do have a team in the second division now.
Okay. But
this team is a pretty good team too, and they've been getting better and better each year. And we won 1-0 with a goal from our girl Caroline Baldwin at the 85th minute. So she redeemed herself from the penalty kick missed in the Super Cup. So congrats, Caroline. That was a great goal. The Oaking Patins, we won against Sporting Tomar at home for the Trump trophy. So we kept the trophy at home. It's like it's a internal trophy, like o Cinco Violins. It's our trophy. So it was just a tournament. It was not an official trophy, but we kept it at home. We won 3-2. Futsal, the second round, we won 7-0 against Pinheirense. Under 17 juvenis, we won 6-2 against Sintrense. Under 15, we won 1-0 against AC Santarém. And ball, great game. I don't know if you guys watched it. Yeah. I did, against Medvedik.
Que gol no fim, meu.
Oh yeah, against
What a goal.
This is the champion of Russia. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not a bullshit team. It's a very good team. We won away 23-22 with an amazing goal from Carlos Huesga, which actually follows us on our Twitter account. So this guy is amazing. If you want to see the goal, just go to our account. You'll see it. Under 19 juniors, we lost away in Tondela, 1-0. Kickboxing, Tiago Santos became world champions of under 19. Under 23, that was the game before today's game. We tied at Cova da Piedade 0-0. And the goalie was amazing. Joyce Anacora, he's Italian. He was the MVP of the game. He saved everything. We could have won like 6-0, and this guy was just on fire. Racing, RC5. We were champions of Portugal. We won the race in Amarante. Cycling, Alexandre Marc won the Tour of China. Triathlon, João Manso became the champion of Portugal. And then last but not least was Infantis. They went to Spain and the Cidade Talavera La Real, and we won 2-0 against Betis, and we brought the trophy back to Lisbon. That's it.
Fair enough, Steph. Thank you for the recap. And guys, before we end the show, we have a game Saturday at home against Maritimo. Give me your predictions. Nando, I'll let you go first.
I mean, excuse me. I think Sporting needs to come out and show a huge turnaround instead of what they just showed against Braga. So I'm hoping and expecting that we do so. I think we are more than capable of doing that. So I expect Sporting to win. I don't know, something along 2-0 is I'm okay with. I'm obviously okay with a 1-0, but I think 2-0 is probably the end result. However, I'm very cautious in how we're going to get to that. I think that if Sporting, we as Sportingistas ourselves struggle with the issue of being temperamental, depressed, fans, this and the other, and the team has been dealing with that for a long time. So I worry that we're going to come out flat. Balls aren't going in. Maybe we're not creating chances. Maritimo gets a quick goal, and then we end up struggling to even tie the game or win the game at the end. So I'm hoping for the best. I'm expecting us to win. I'll say 2-0. But we got to be very, very cautious because right now, following that 1-0 loss, not looking too good. This is the type of trap game, if you will, where Sporting can come out flat and actually end up having 2 bad games in a row.
Yeah. Danny, give me your prediction.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Nando. I hope it's a 2-0 win. It's always good to play a game not too far after you lost one. So I hope the boys are up for it. I hope they, levantar a cabeza. Because we only put our heads down when it's to kiss the badge, and I hope we get a good reaction out of them. So a 2-0 win.
Steph, what's your prediction?
I think it's going to be a 3-0. They're just gonna prove to us that they are a great team. So I think it's going to be 3-0, and I'm expecting more Zayden to be a little bit more conscientious with the rotation because we're going to have a busy schedule coming up soon, like a game every 3 days.
Yeah. So play the next Thursday.
Yeah.
Yes. Against.
Exactly. So if we have a good right back, como Cabral, why not put him in?
Yeah.
So if we have a good midfielder like Wendell, why not put him in? He's going to have to do a better rotation because towards the end of the game, the Braga game, I saw some players getting tired and like missing some plays that usually they get them. Like they didn't go back all the way, couldn't make that cut, alleviation, and that shows like, oh, this guy looks like he's exhausted, tired. So if we're gonna win this game 3-0 because we had the whole week to rest. We had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we play Saturday. So
I'm gonna go with 5-0.
Oh, tech pariu.
I'm gonna go with 5-0.
5-0 com 5 gols do Castagnos.
Hey, I'll tell you what, if Castaños
I'm buying his jersey if he ever scores a goal in the league.
If he scores 5 goals, I'll go to downtown New York City and I'll run around the Square Garden all naked.
Bro, if he scores, se o gajo me consegue marcar gol este ano, I'll buy his jersey and be like, fuck it, it's worth it.
Hey, you know what? If he scores 3 and Jefferson scores 2, hey, meu.
Aí já é party do caralho.
Ei, meu.
Ele não consegue segurar a bola, man.
No, man, it's
Oh my God.
When I saw him coming in, I was like, oh my God.
Bro, that literally is depression when it happens. I don't think a Sportingista ever smiles at that.
he's literally Petrovic on offense. It's essentially what he is. You have 2 Petrovics. Like, that's crazy, man.
It showed a sign of desperation from Peseiro. Like, he just, when he put Castanhos in, I'm like, o gajo está desesperado mesmo.
Tá todo
For
fudido.
Montero is what got me, but okay.
Right, yeah. Right, exactly. But, yeah, guys, hopefully Saturday we can put this Braga loss behind us, and hopefully we can start the month of October right, because I think it actually is on the 1st of October. No, it's already on the 4th. No, still September.
The good thing is já andamos a fazer contas. So Sporting's only 3 points back first place, so it's not bad.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's not bad at
We're
all.
still early on. So one loss
No, I
against
mean-
a good team, you can't fault that. But
You know what sucks though? Like jokingly, but not joking. Like I was sitting at work and I had just finished turning off the game, and I go back to my seat and I like pull out the schedule. I'm like, caralho, estamos 3 pontos behind. And that's not bad. We're still in this shit. It's like all of us were so used to always doing contas, and even though it's so early in the season, but like that's the Sporting way.
You know, the thing is, losing against Braga 1-0.
Is acceptable.
No, it's not that it's acceptable. It's how we lost. That's
Yeah.
what concerns
How
me.
sucks. But at the end of the day, losing at Braga is not like we're going to sit here and say, oh my God, how did that happen? It's not like, Braga is running for potential Champions League placement, maybe even more so. I mean, it is what it is. It's like if we lost at Porto and Benfica, we'd be pissed off, of course, but we wouldn't be sitting here as pissed off as if we lose next week against Maritimo or something like that.
Braga is good, but not that good. All it takes is a couple of the key players to get hurt, and já estão fodidos.
I still think their defense is nothing special. I think their defense was a lot better last year.
I'm telling you, o Braga não é assim nada de especial. If they have the A team, they'll be a good competitor.
Yeah.
Without a few key players, they shit. I'm telling you. But what concerns me the most, again, I'll say it again, it's not that we lost against them. It's how we lost.
Yeah.
It's that's because we're not producing in the midfield. We're not constructing plays.
At the end of the day, nós somos Sporting Clube Portugal. Eles são Sporting Clube Braga.
Because
we played eye to eye with them. That's not supposed to happen. In my eyes, that's not supposed to happen.
So eu sou Sportingista. Se gajo de Braga, adepto de Braga, se meter comigo, eu só digo assim, ouve lá, we have 22 titles, 16 taças de Portugal, 8 supertaças, uma taça da Liga e uma taça das taças. O que é que vocês têm, caralho?
E não falar dos modalidades.
They're gonna hit you with mas nós temos o caralho do Benfica
Eles falam dos títulos do Benfica, meu amigo. Então.
Bro, and I'm from the Braga area, bro. I'm from that Braga area, and that shit is so true that it's sickening. It's not even like a big. It's not even just a joke.
I'm gonna send you something that you're gonna rub it on their faces. Do you know they were an affiliation of Sporting?
Yeah,
Sporting
with
Braga.
that name.
Yeah, back in the days, eles eram uma filial do Sporting. You know that.
Yeah, but that was when they still
their
had
flag was green and white. Their flag.
Yeah, and then they changed their colors because I think the guy wanted to implement it like Arsenal, like be the Arsenal of England. I believe it's their history. Some knowledge. Woo.
Pá, eu tinha vergonha de ser adepto do Braga, sinceramente, porque eu.
Porque o Guimarães é o maior clube lá do norte.
Lá do Minho, because
Guimarães is awesome.
Ser de Braga é ser de Benfica. We all know that, you know.
Yeah.
Eles são capazes de dizer assim, eu antes quero que o Braga perca para o Benfica ser campeão. São capazes de dizer isso.
But that's what I was
No
coming
doubt
up
in my
earlier
mind, bro.
with,
No
with
doubt. That's
why
exactly
I
what
think
they are,
Benfica will
man.
always be Braga.
That's exactly what they are.
And I agree with you, Danny, because the last I'm going to read up the last course. Braga, Benfica, Liga Nós, which was 3-1, Benfica won. Last game. Na taça da Liga, 1-1. Benfica, Braga, in 2017, Benfica won 3-1. Braga, Benfica won 1-0. Liga Nós again 2016, Benfica won 3-1. Supertaça Canto de Oliveira, Benfica won 3-0. They've been winning against Braga for I'm going to tell you how many games in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I have to agree with you. For 10 games in a row, Benfica wins against Braga. That's a huge coincidence.
The last time Braga beat them, October 26, 2014.
Yes.
Back in
Estamos quase em 2019.
back in the Domingos days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and listen, and then you look at their current record with Sporting, you look at their current record with Porto, it's a different beast. But
yes.
I hope they prove me wrong when they face Benfica. I hope they go out, either get a draw or a win, because Forza for them, anything to get off points from our rivals. But I don't know.
If you talk,
they're called Lampiões do Norte for a reason.
Yeah, if you talk to Benfica, they'll say, "Oh, a gente ganhou porque somos melhor que eles." Yeah, that's what they'll say. Não vão falar em vouchers e e-mails e tu pega. Isso não.
No, it's fake news.
Isso não entra. No, that's the thing. I ask
allegations.
That's
what they say.
I asked a friend of mine, Benfiquista, so we can wrap it up. I said to him, "Listen, so the emails are so fake. Yeah, it's all fake. It's all fake. Aquilo é tudo fake. Okay, so why are you guys so fucking concerned about the hacker?
To me, my favorite thing is
why are you so concerned about the hacker if it's all fake? Don't be so concerned.
Right.
And I told them, you know what you should do? You guys should release the true emails then. Show us the true emails, the emails that actually contradict those ones. They so concerned about nailing the hacker. Why? É tudo falso, mas não tens de preocupar, caralho. That's when they admit that there's something wrong with the emails, because they're so involved in nailing this hacker, because there's a lot of truth into it, and they only released apparently 20% of the emails they have. They still have 80% of Benfica emails still to be released. Holy shit! This will last until 2050 when I'm going into retirement to Jamaica.
Hey, I'll be right there with you, man.
And just quickly, because I'm going to say this similar to what Steph was saying, or just add on, because it was on a podcast that I like, e nós conhecemos, mas não vou dizer o nome porque eles são amigos.
Três tugas.
Não digo os nomes, porque são amigos.
Three tugas.
And one of the things where they brought up how, Benfica said that, these emails have been stolen, so they're admitting that it's true. And the Benfiquista said, no. How do you know that? How do you don't know we don't have an ace up our sleeve to show in court? Meu amigos, they have nothing, yet they still defend that shit.
Yeah.
It was asked, Paulo Gonçalves was on the B team. Anything to say to that? No. Why? It's just allegations. Oh, but he's no longer part of blah, blah, blah. Oh, but it's just allegations. Nothing's been proven. Então normal. O Bruno Carvalho pode entrar onde quiser também, não é? It's just some things that I don't understand from certain people, from certain fans. Mas vá que vá. I had enough beef with them today.
The thing is, they can. I'm not, saying that they shouldn't like Benfica. Of course, if you like Benfica, you should support your team. Força aí, não é isso o problema. Não é, if everyone is Benfiquista or everyone's Sportingista, there's no rivalry and there's no excitement in the games. There's no fun. But the problem I have with a lot of Benfiquistas is they applauding corruption. Yeah. They applauding Luis Vieira. They know he's a crook. They know. Most of them admitted to me offline, one-on-one, a gente sabe. Mas o que é que a gente faça?
Most of them have admitted to me in person, eu tenho medo que vamos descer. Tens medo? O que é que tens medo se vocês são innocent? I don't know.
Because the only solution they have with Benfiquistas is to start fresh. It's ask for early elections. Early election, kick out old, even let's say they're not corrupted, but they dragging the Benfica name in the dirt.
Yeah, that alone, man. It's all over Twitter too now.
If I'm Benfiquista, I want Luis Vieira fora do meu clube. Ele, o Muniz, o Paulo Gonçalves já foi. But all these fucking guys are dragging my name in the mud, in the dirt. I want them out of my club. And then from that point on, the media, Portuguese, Sportistas, everybody else will say, okay, they have a new president, a new administration. So what happened in the past with Benfica, now Luis Filipe will have to deal with it as an individual, as in court as an individual. So now the Benfiquistas could turn the page and say, well, we have a new administration. They're still going to have to deal with this shit. But now we can, put our chin up and say, hey, we have a new administration. These guys, they want to clean corruption out of Benfica and the Portuguese football. And Luis Filipe and the other guys, now they have to fight in court by themselves with their own money, because these Benfiquistas are dumb as a fucking rock. He's using the Benfica money to pay all the fees in court. Everything, every appeal you make, the lawyers, they charge money. They're not working for free. Who's paying for it? Benfica. Sporting Benfica paga as contas todas, meu. That's why I don't get the Benfiquistas. Why don't you want early elections?
You know what? I hope they keep wasting the money, my man.
I think they like corruption. That's my take on it.
Yeah.
Just win, baby, is their motto.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we talked too much about those.
They're literally
those
like the
dirty
New England
fucks in this
Patriots.
one.
Não interessa como a ganhar a duas prostitutas e a 200 mocas. É só falar com o
but at
Paulo
least,
Salves.
All right.
at least send me one.
É.
Hey,
Uma delas era uma velha do caralho, ela não tinha dentes nem nada.
Hey,
Amigos,
man,
I don't know if you
grannies
guys,
need
That
love
way she
too.
doesn't bite, bro.
I don't know if you guys still plan on talking for a little longer. I don't mean to jump in and cut off, as I'm gonna have to hop off here real quick. I got a game to go play, some little soccer, wear my Sporting jersey, represent.
Yeah.
It's all good, my man.
Let that sweat build up in the barba. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
É
God.
assim mesmo.
Parece talibã, caralho.
É, meu, espera mais 2 meses ou 3 meses.
When I looked at the pictures, Paul, guys, he's getting his prostate checked or something.
And the fucked up thing is I was on a call, literally, that call lasted 40 minutes. Good thing is I got the sale, so it's worth it. But I'm sitting there and I read your message back and I had to fucking laugh out loud. So I had to mute the call real quick because I read that he's getting his prostate checked. And I said that to my coworker right beside me. I was like, bro, do I look like I got a dildo up there, And he's like, oh, cara, chega aí, meu.
What do you sell? Dildos? What do you sell?
Yeah, nah, bro. We selling maybe they'll add that to the comp plan, bro. If they want to add that to the comp plan, I'll out there sell anything they need.
I thought you were selling dildos and testing them at the same time.
Nah, isso testa não, mas I can recommend it to them if it gets me paid.
Are we offline, bro?
Not yet, buddy.
Still online, man.
Oh, man. I'm sorry. Hey, say good night then. Holy shit.
Ignore the last 4 minutes.
Guys, it's just it's the explicit podcast.
We can edit this live, right?
After hours, man.
Yeah, we can edit it.
I thought we were offline, man. I'm sorry to the Portuguese. Oh, my God.
No, it's cool, man. I'm sure they'll love it. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up.
The Benfiquistas would love it.
They're going to call Nana for dildos. Go ahead.
All right, boys. Until next time, until next week, either Monday or Tuesday night will be the podcast. We'll announce it. Look out for it on the page, and hopefully we get that victory on Saturday, and we can head into October with a clean slate. From all of us, good night. Have a good week. Força Sporting.
Força Sporting all day, baby.
Viva Sporting.
Viva Sporting.